Welcome to the bold analysis. TV47 had an editorial comment supporting Rigathi Gachagwa's narrative that the act of William Ruto being heckled in Mount Kenya is just a show of disrespect to the office of the presidency, despite the fact that William Ruto is taking development to the people. And Indimuli clearly brands heckling as also a show of political intolerance. It borders both. It borders both disrespect and also political intolerance. But today I want to cut at least a diagonal in the middle and look at this deep, because there is something that we are simply not being told. And today I want to explain why the public is withdrawing from William Ruto's image. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start here. This is the editorial piece from TV47, and I've mixed it with what Rigathi said in Larry.
Mimi nataka niseme nikiwa hapa Kiambu, hiyo tabia ya kupiga kelele mbele ya mfalme, hiyo hapana tabia ya watu ya Mlima Kenya. Hiyo ni tabia ya ODM. Na mimi nikiwa kiongozi wenu hapa, sitaki kuona hiyo maneno tena.
It's about the growing trend of political intolerance, chaos, and indiscipline, where politicians are jeered and booed in the presence of the President of the Republic. It is rather curious, but also worrying. For many of the President's critics, this may be a time to score political points. However, this behavior calls for a serious reflection of the erosion of respect for the highest office in the land. Recent incidents in Meru and recently in Kiambu, marred by jeering, booing, and unruly behavior at the public rallies attended by the President, highlight a distressing pattern of disrespect and disregard for the dignity of the presidency.
Na mimi pia nasema, wewe kama unataka kuleta vijana kuja kuunga yeye kwa mkutano, hapana toa vijana mbali, toa hasa wakule, si ndio? Hapana toa watu mbali. Kama lazima upange watu wakuja wakupigie makofi, hapana toa watu mbali. Katiguo. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka niseme, na mtongoria ule wothe okurehe ngwe thiini wa gitaro giki kia gatagati.
It is essential to recognize that the President represents more than just a political figure. He embodies the unity and sovereignty of the nation. Don't get me wrong. We do not need to agree with or to have voted for the President for us to respect him. It is demanded of us by the Constitution. As a head of state and government, the President symbolizes the aspirations and values of the Kenyan people. Therefore, regardless of political affiliations or personal opinions, the office of the presidency demands reverence and deference from all citizens. The conduct witnessed, particularly among politicians trying to catch the President's eye by outdoing and outshouting each other through their supporters, undermines the institutions and principles upon which the nation is built. Patriotism entails honoring and upholding the integrity of these institutions, foremost among them being the presidency.
Huyu ni mfalme wetu, president wa Kenya, amekuja kutuletea maendeleo. Munaleta aibu mbele ya rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya katika eneo ambao sisi ni watu ya heshima. Mimi nataka niambie governor, niambie MPs, kuanzia leo hiyo maneno hatuwezi kubali hapa katika mlima.
And so, why the TV47 to me is just, this was a well choreographed narrative for them, Rigathi Gachagua, to start and to pick. And Kenya Kwanza is struggling to convince Kenyans that the heckling incidents is not a red card against Kenya Kwanza, but disrespect on the person and the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya. They are wrong in this and totally out of touch. Why is the President carrying dozens of members of parliament to launch projects if purely the events of launching are actually presidential events? And to those, at this point, we may need to ask these promoters of this narrative that what is a presidential event? What is a presidential event? According to what we know, President's office is in State House and state lodges, and is not the carousels and the villages he's plowing every day looking for votes, campaigning. President's office is not in the car roof. And I think if not for political optics, for President has a reason, as even a liberty of leaving all the other things, stopping all the other things, just go launch, get back to your car, drive back to State House. Launch another one, get back to your car, drive back to State House. There is absolutely no reason of carrying all those members of parliament. And I want to ask the promoters of that narrative, if heckling is being disrespectful to the president, but why is Ruto addressing empty streets in towns and opting to penetrate villages, meeting women in their farms? After realizing that these meetings in towns, even in different towns, especially in Mount Kenya, was not going well, President Ruto decided to go to the villages. And look at, I want you to sample this photo here. This is a photo of President William Ruto in a village somewhere in Nyeri. He had gone to meet and go share that photo. You know, the chopper landed in some village somewhere in Nyeri. And that is why I am saying the simplified narrative that heckling is a show of disrespect is just escapism. It is just, these people are just escaping from the truth. When William Ruto was talking in Murang'a, this video here, if you check this video, William Ruto was speaking somewhere in Murang'a. He was addressing and telling them about the affordable housing, about the health and all that. But if you clearly look at this video, hapo nyuma ya hiyo gari, people are just walking and minding their own business, as if the president is not there. Now, people who are complaining that heckling is disrespect to the president, they also need to come and confirm to us that maybe is boycotting meetings part of disrespect. Because yes, you know, this part of heckling and disrespect, the heckling and boycott go together. All these people are showing some aggression. Now, between the young people that are heckling William Ruto in rallies, and those who are seeing and know very well he's in town and minding their own business, are these two people disrespecting the president? The answer is no. These two people are using different forms of aggression. Someone is saying, because I know he will not tell me anything serious, I'd rather not go there. And that is why we are seeing that going on. And I want to narrow it down to explain. I want to debunk that disrespect narrative by saying, number one, there are two reasons why William Ruto is being heckled in this country. Two reasons. And any other person who is constructing a narrative away from these two reasons is simply lying to the son of Sugoi. It needs to be fired. Any other person talking outside these two reasons. Number one, William Ruto has lost his persuasion power. Persuasion power. And I think I analyzed the heckling in Meru. And I wanted to look at that because this is what confirms best what that heckling, why Ruto is losing persuasion power. I want to explain why he's losing it. But look at this video from Meru.
Hebu tusikizane. Hebu vijana, ngoja. Mimi nataka tuelewane hivi. Ngoja. Aya, tumesikia ile mmesema. Asante sana. Aya, hebu tuelewane. Mimi nataka tuelewane. Watu wa Kiutine, nyinyi mnanisikia? Siasa hii ya makelele mimi sitaki. Tunaelewana? Hii siasa makelele ni siasa mbaya. Nyinyi vijana nataka niwaambie, mimi nataka niwapangie kazi ya ajira. Mambo ya kuja kupiga makelele kwa mkutano mimi sitaki. Musikie vizuri. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Sisi tumekuja hapa kupanga mambo ya maendeleo ya Meru. Mambo ya barabara ni ya muhimu, ni kweli ama si kweli? Mambo ya kilimo ni ya muhimu, ni kweli ama si kweli? Mambo ya stima ni muhimu, ni kweli ama si kweli? Kusomesha watoto wetu ni muhimu, ni kweli ama si kweli? Tabia kama hii mimi sitaki tena. Kwa mkutano ya rais mimi sitaki watu wa kupiga makelele. Ninyi mnanisikia? Hii ni kukosa heshima. Mimi nataka kila kiongozi apatiwe heshima. Na mimi nataka niwaambie hivi. Sikizeni vizuri. Watu wa Meru tunaelewana? Kuna siku nyinyi wananchi mtakuja kuamua. Mtu akifanya kazi si mtamuendelea aendelee na kazi? Mtu akikosa kufanya kazi si mtamfukuza aende nyumbani? Iko nafasi ya uchaguzi saa hii. Vijana tafadhali, mimi nataka niwaeleze tabia hii ya makelele ni mambo ya Azimio na ni maneno ya ODM. Sisi hatutaki mambo ya ODM katika mkutano ya UDA na mkutano ya Kenya Kwanza. Ninyi mnanielewa? Kwa hivyo tabia kama hii ya kupigiana makelele iwe ya mwisho leo. Mimi nataka niwaulize nyinyi vijana, tunawaheshimu na tunawapangia kazi yenu. Tumepanga kazi ya housing, tumefanya kazi ile ingine, na tunataka vijana wetu watumike katika kazi ya kufanya maendeleo na kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Tumekubaliana watu wa Kiutine? Mnasema tabia kama hii endelee ama tukomeshe? Mmesema hatutaki makelele kwa mkutano? Wale wanasema hatutaki makelele kwa mkutano nione kwa mkono ndio. We do not want this kind of nonsense. Tunaelewana? We want a united country. Sisi ni watu wa mpango, sisi ni watu wa heshima, sisi ni watu wa kazi, sisi hapana watu wa maandamano na makelele na fujo.
Now, I made an observation, and I think I analyzed this video in this channel at some point. The news is not in the fact that, in fact, what was happening there was heckling. The president was holding the microphone, and he kept on asking those young people, calling them to order. No vain. They were standing and they were heckling right in front of his car. He was looking at them, he was pointing at them. Between where president's car is and where those young people are heckling, it's very close. Mpaka anaonyesha, and they don't care. They were heckling and he had to turn and started speaking to the other people in the other direction. Now, that is what I said. The point here is, he's lacked that persuasion. As someone want to call it disrespect, no. If it is disrespect, William Ruto has been meeting leaders in State House, has been attending church. Why not in church? Why is he not being heckled in church? If someone heckles him in church, then you say this is something disrespectful. But look at the event. He tried and it's failing. It's because of messaging. You know, if you listen to the message, he's trying to spell some hope. Things are going to be good. I am doing this. And he has gone to the campaign mode, giving orders in political rallies. I've said it here and I will repeat. MPs are being ordered in political rallies to use some CDF money to construct ICT hubs, while back in the National Assembly, the Treasury has not disbursed the CDF money. Look at that. Look at that. Get me a soundbite of a single member of parliament who is launching any building like is an ICT hub. So the messaging has bordered, and the messaging has two problems. Number one, it is a bit of, they're a bit confrontational, or not confrontational. They're too antagonistic and personalized that you don't even believe what he's saying. This is what I'm saying. You are saying you want to pay for 300 for those who cannot manage to pay for the new health scheme. And after saying, you're also saying you want to create jobs, blah, blah, through ICT hubs. But on the other end, towards the tail end of your speech, you will have to remind the voters that kuna watu wengine ambao hawataki, wale ambao ni wapumbavu and all that. Now, when someone walks out of that meeting, someone doesn't carry your message on health scheme and affordable housing. Someone carries the insult, or rather, the words you used against Raila Odinga. That's one problem with those messaging. Number two, they are not backed up with the tangible actions. I've said, you cannot say that I have gone there, I have ordered MP to build ICT hub, I will bring laptop. I will. Kenyans are still put in the mode of waiting. There is no sign of things being put into action. That's the one reason why William Ruto is being heckled. He has lacked the moral persuasion. Number two, the State House functions have been hijacked by UDA politicians who are close to the president, and William Ruto is indirectly or directly meddling with local politics. And that is where you understand the heckling is coming from. In Meru, the governor is talking about some people paying the youths. I want you to look at Kiambu. In Kiambu, someone need to convince us, someone in President Sako need to convince Kenyans that the Thika Member of Parliament, Alice Ng'ang'a, went to Lari, accompanied the president, and an event that was supposed to be launching the road, an MP picks the microphone to tell the sitting governor that I will take that seat from you.
Sikizeni, mimi ndio nitapinga governor wa Matangi hapa Kiambu County. Mimi ndio nitapinga governor wa Matangi hapa Kiambu. Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Mimi ndio nitapinga governor wanyu hapa Kiambu County. Mimi ndio nitakuwa governor wa Kiambu County. Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Kabisa! Sikizeni, mimi ndio nitapinga governor wa Matangi hapa Kiambu County. Mimi ndio nitapinga governor wa Matangi hapa Kiambu. Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Mimi ndio nitapinga governor wanyu hapa Kiambu County. Mimi ndio nitakuwa governor wa Kiambu County. Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Watu wari oe! Kabisa!
Listen to that. Now, just convince me in layman's language. Do you want to tell me that William Ruto did not know that Alice Ng'ang'a was going to declare her candidature for Kiambu governorship there? And the other side, you are also saying we are not politicking, but people around you that have actually accompanied the president are playing politics. Those are the two reasons why it's going on. You've lacked the persuasion, and number two, you are meddling, and I can tell you this. This is going to bring all chaos everywhere. Meddling. There are people that feel privileged. And I want to put my diagonal here. Instead of branding public dissent against Kenya Kwanza as disrespect on the president, which is just an escape narrative, just face the facts and ask yourself a very simple question. Why is the public withdrawing loyalty from William Ruto? Oh, before Rigathi Gachagua, as Rigathi struggles to remind voters that they should not heckle Mudhamaki. Instead of confronting and taking all those corners, face one fact and ask yourself, walk to intelligence, walk to media, bring media personalities, bring these opinion polls, opinion shapers, bring all these people together and ask them, why do you think the public is withdrawing loyalty? Why do you think the patronage is going down? If the problem is William Ruto, in fact, there is something that Rigathi is saying. You know, Rigathi is, they want to twist that Kenyans are not complaining about government. Kenyans are just showing disrespect for the president. Now, what you need to ask is, for them to show disrespect, that means they're not loyal to him. So you need to find out, why are they withdrawing that loyalty? That's it. And that is what I want to help you find out. That is what I want to help President handlers find out. There are some 4 reasons why Kenyans are withdrawing their loyalty. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting our channel, and of course we don't take it for granted. These 4 reasons why Kenyans are not listening to William Ruto. In fact, he just needs to get it. Number 1, there is the colossal disregard of the popular voice. There is a popular voice, and the popular voice is, consult us. If it is for us, consult us. There is a popular voice that we are not being heard, and this has been seen across. If you listen to discussions on housing levy, and specifically on housing levy, Kenyans took better part the second 6 months since June 2023 to December, telling President William Ruto, don't tax us to build us houses while we are not going to get. Don't use our money to build us houses. Kenyans have been saying. Kenyans have been asking the president that while you are building those houses, we cannot afford the 300,000 or 400,000 as a deposit. So we cannot occupy those houses. That voice is disregarded. That's the truth. That's the truth. And Kenyans have been asking about the taxation. Now, what's happening? The reason why, you know, I know very well that in communication, people tend to believe there is what is called rigidity. You know, there is a time communication reaches to a plateau. A plateau. This is a point where, this is a point where you cannot convince me otherwise. This is some 2 or 3 days to general election where people have made their mind. It's a plateau, so you can't change anything. Even if you come up with the news that a presidential candidate has been found maybe doing something very heinous, or have been maybe involved in some maybe unfaithful act with someone, Kenyans can't buy it, or people can't buy it. Now, Kenyans have reached a plateau, and they have reconciled with the fact that Kenya Kwanza is not going to listen to us. So what we want to show is that we don't care. Fine, you can do other things, and what they are telling the Kenya Kwanza is, do the things you're doing at the top, but leave the local politics for us. That's number 1. Number 2, the political echoes in Ruto's messaging erodes the presidential stature. Erodes the presidential stature. You may, and I want to give you an assignment. Listen to the speeches of Uhuru Kenyatta. Sample some of those speeches before he got into the 2022 campaigns, and sample William Ruto's speeches. How will you get the presidential loyalty if you go on top of car and all you say ni wale wenye hawataki tujenge hizi manyumba ni wajinga na wapumbavu? Tell me. How do you get into that? How do you want people to package you? I do believe And no pun intended. Apart from people, some people did a very good branding by advising William Ruto to pick the Kaunda. It was a good branding to, to bring in the presidential stature. But that Kaunda is not making any effect on elevating Ruto to a presidential stature if you look at his messaging, his wordings. And people are not seeing, I can tell you, if he visits, there are some areas that he visits, they will be like, Ruto is coming, not the president is coming, Ruto is coming here. The other third understanding why Kenyans are withdrawing their patronage from William Ruto is something I want to speak about. The hot air jobs speech. This is it. Before 2022 general election, William Samoei Arap Ruto was speaking with the youths. And now, when he went back to the campaign mode, he went with the job pitch. And the job pitch is this. I'm building some ICT hubs, and from here, I'll bring Wi-Fi and computer, and so you'll just be pressing and people will get dollars. Me and you know very well that those online jobs are not just jobs made for any other person. Kuna ka level of knowledge kidogo. You go in a middle village, in a remote village in Turkana or Taptembele, then you tell people on how they are going to press and get dollars. Honestly, this issue of online jobs is not a pitch to the village rallies. That is something you explain when you call a symposium in a university somewhere or a college. Or you speak somewhere in Nairobi in a youth forum or a youth conference. It is not something you go to tell some people, boda riders in the village, uko chini, telling them that they press computer. The people that have never seen computers. Truth be told, they don't even know dollars. What are those dollars? They just know there is dollars. So that job speech is not working. Number two, the affordable housing is being pitched as another source of jobs. But do you think someone doing criminology is buying that affordable housing story? Now, we have so many courses. Nowadays, people are filling for courses. We have so many courses, more than 1,000 courses. But President is going to the public and telling us that you go and get jobs in those Njengo. And all of us going to be absorbed there. If you're not a masonry, me, I'm a journalist. The other person is a teacher. Teachers are yet to be absorbed. JSS are crying. The other person is a nurse. The other person is a doctor. Are all of us going to be in that sector? And lastly, it is a very clear thing that the president's team must see. We made a bad choice. Understanding is coming. Kenyans are reconciling with the truth that perhaps we made a mistake. And that is why they are withdrawing. Someone needs to advise the president accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. I take that as my best podcast this week. Thank you.